So, gyms. Few things to talk about when talking about Pokemon Go gyms. Biggest is that it's the only current form of PvP that's in the game, and it's not single one person versus one person. It can be, but in general, it's one or more people against 1 to 10 different Pokemon in a gym, where each person, as long as you're a different team, gets 6 Pokemon. So if you had a group of 6 friends and you went to take on a level 4 gym that had 4 Pokemon in it, you would literally have 24 Pokemon to take on 4. So the advantage is always going to be to the attacker. It's just very, very difficult to keep a gym and hold it for a big length of time. And unless you're a botter right now that has level 30 Pokemon, or sorry, you're level 40 and have 3,000 CP Pokemon, it's very easy to hold a gym, and you can only put 1 Pokemon per player in said gym. So how battles actually take place. Once you decide to fight a gym, if you are a different faction or group, then you get to pick 6 Pokemon. The game automatically picks 6. Typically, they give you a little bit of type advantage, but it doesn't know what move set those Pokemon have. So sometimes you have to manipulate your group based on what moves they actually have. For example, my Arcanine. Fire type doesn't have a fire move. Well, having a fire type to fight a grass gym then becomes absolutely worthless unless they're shooting me with Razor Leaf. Then at least I've got where I'm only taking 80% damage, but I'm not getting type advantage, which doesn't really help all that much. So, yes. So you pick your 6 Pokemon. After you picked your 6 Pokemon, you enter the gym fight. If you want to go in with multiple people, you have to make sure that those people hit the fight button, or the go button, at the same time. If you do not, you will each be fighting the gym separately amongst each other, and there will only be your Pokemon fighting the Pokemon that's current on your list, versus all 3 of them fighting, which can drastically change how the battle would actually turn out.
Maybe all 3 of us together.
Yeah.
Let's give it a shot.
So how do we do this then?
Okay, so you press the bottom right-hand corner. Let me make sure my screen capture's on, which it is not, so let me turn that on.
Oh, and it automatically selects your highest... Alright.
Okay, so battling, and let's roll mine. And are we ready?
Not quite, but
Is Princess ready?
how do I pick on the 2 little...
Okay, well, Jen's already in it, so I'm going to go help her, since Princess is lagging behind and Jen jumped the gun.
Sorry. I thought you guys were already clicking.
So after you've entered, it's literally just a tap, swipe, or hold system. Tap does your basic moveset, which, depending on the Pokemon and the move type, will cause different amounts of damage or have a different speed, or both. So, for example, Water Gun, lower attack stat, so it does less damage each hit, but it's quicker, so you can use it more often. Versus, I believe it's Mud Slap, where it does over double the damage of Water Gun, but you can't use it as often. So it's that fine balance and whatnot that you just have to go based on your playstyle, and then each different move set will have a different DPS or damage per second based on if you're just mashing the button, how much potential damage can you do. So after your basic move, you have the next important thing, which is dodging. When the opposing Pokemon does their attack, there will be an animation. And then just before the damage is about to be dealt, you'll see yellow lines and like a sunburst type of thing around the outside of your screen. That's your indication to try to dodge. So if you hit it right, and depending on which move it is, you can actually dodge all of the damage from that attack, giving, again, the attacker as a person and with physical inputs the advantage to be able to actually negate a lot of damage. A move like Solar Beam, you dodge at the right time, you're just mitigating some of the damage because the damage window is actually larger than the dodge window. So say like it's like a half second that you can dodge. Well, Solar Beam might be a second and a half, so you're actually taking 2/3 of the damage still. But a move like Solar Beam or Hyper Beam that does a massive amount of damage, if you get hit by it, you're dead type of deal. So dodging that third of the damage or whatever ratio it is gives you a little bit of survivability unless you're drastically underleveled or less CP than the Pokemon you're fighting. So that's the dodge characteristic. And so the last one is the hold. So if once you have done enough basic attacks, you'll fill your special attack function. So it's dictated by that blue bar or multiple blue bars that's underneath your health. If it's one bar, that means it's a larger attack. Generally, the larger attacks right now are a lot more effective for time-based, so like DPS-wise. But you can also have 2, 3, 4, and even 5 different bars. The issue with the multiple bars is the special attacks actually take a fairly long amount of time to cast. So if it's only doing a minimal amount more damage versus your base attack, a lot of times you're better off just to spam your base attack than even to try to use the special attack. Because not only are you doing less damage using that special attack if it's one of the 5 bars, you're unable to actually dodge during that. So your quick attack that you can keep hammering away and then dodge when you need. Okay, well now you've decided to do your special attack and you're unable to dodge during that time frame, so you're not mitigating any damage. So you're actually doing twice as, or hurting yourself by using that attack twice. Once because you're not actually doing as much damage by using this attack, and 2 because you're not mitigating any of the damage that you're taking, and therefore you actually die quicker, which hurts your damage output in the end because you can't do damage if your Pokemon is fainting. So that's the 3 big things for gyms. With gyms, the advantage of taking them over is you actually get experience for fighting a gym. The higher the level, the lower the level of CP Pokemon that you use, the higher the experience you get, and the more prestige you'll take down every time. And so the other advantage of taking gyms is for each gym that you take over, you get 500 Stardust and 10 coins, so the in-game currency. You need to hit a button that's in the store tab, and right at the top there's that shield. So if you have one gym taken over, when you hit that button you'll get 500 Stardust and 10 coins, to 1000 Stardust and 20 coins, and so on and so forth, all the way up to 10. The important thing is you can only hit that button in the store once every 20 hours. So if you've hit that button after you've taken one gym and you end up taking 4 more, well then you've now wasted basically the taking of that gym minus the experience that you've gotten. And unless you can hold those 4 gyms for 20 hours, you will have to retake them in order to get the benefits from that. So it's one of those balancing acts where do you hit it after one just so that you actually get it, or do you risk it and try to go for 3, 4, and while you're taking the fourth one, somebody comes along and takes back your other 3 while you're trying to take that one, and then now you're back down to 1 anyway. So it's
So bloody close. Yes! Jim is mine. Oh, and then here comes Jeremy.
Have you met Jeremy?
Still reading his yellow on mine.
There we go. Now it's blue.
Yep.
Drowsy on there.
Come on.
Go, Drowsy.
Oh, give me my thing.
Hold the gym.
Well,
Say Livy. It's the to go.
assuming of course this thing actually works.
There's 2 more Pokestops for that way.
You throw a Pokemon in it.
Week 1, but I am now in a gym.
Are you seriously trying to take over his gym? Oh my god, Jeremy.
He's got to do it twice, so yeah, you should probably kill my Pokemon. Saying they're dead.
Yeah, I'll leave him there. Jersey.
And by the way, use all my potions.
I own this gym now. It is mine. At least
Yeah, it's my island.
Mine Island!
you're a madman, aren't you?
God says he can look after me. He can get me out of this mess. I'm pretty sure you're fucked.
$4.99.
That's right.
You're a jackass.
We could play this game where I just take it back, but...
Yeah, this would go back and forth forever.
Okay.
So it's that balance where, okay, at what point do I not feel safe or confident that those gyms that I've already taken are still going to be mine when I go to take this one? And so, like for myself, I don't normally push it past 2. If you're out, you know, I don't know, 2 o'clock in the morning or something, and you decided you wanted to do it that way, or go to smaller towns where there's less people with higher CP Pokemon, because rural Pokemon Go experience is less Pokemon, and yeah, so that would be my advice on if you wanted to maximize the amount of gyms. You'd have to go out late at night when very few people are out, and you'd have to go with a few people to make sure that you'd actually have some higher CP Pokemon and multiple high CP Pokemon in the gym when you tried to hold it while you go get the rest of them. And then if you go to rural areas that actually have a couple of gyms, most rural areas only maybe have 1 in a smaller town. So if you have a couple of small towns all in a row, you could go through and hit up, say, 5 gyms in an hour. That would be a great way of maximizing your efforts for the gyms. Easy to take, easier to keep, and if it was in the middle of the night, who's really out trying to take them other than the diehards, which there's a lot of them out there right now. But that's all I have to say about gyms. And Princess can edit out the rest. Okay.